In this video, I introduce you to the BitNami Joomla server stacks. BitNami is a relatively new service providing a library of popular server applications and development environments that can be installed on Windows, OS X, and Unix computers. They also provide hosting of the same applications in the cloud if you want to go that route. They take care of all the configuring and bundling of the various components, taking all the complexity out of a potentially complex process so the applications work pretty much out of the box. All you need to do is download the installer file for the application you want and then just run it. BitNami's install applications make the entire process very easy, requiring just a few clicks of your mouse. Installing a Joomla server stack is pretty straightforward, but has a lot of steps that could potentially trip you up. So let me give you an overview of how it works and what it does, and then provide you in the next video step-by-step instructions as I go through an actual installation. As I mentioned earlier, Joomla websites need to be hosted on an Apache web server in order to be shown to users. Normally you would need to lease hosting space from a hosting provider like SiteGround or Bluehost. Depending on the package you choose, a hosting provider will install a web server for you on one of their server machines, or you might share one with other websites. This server is accessible to the public, making your websites available to the world. A BitNami server stack is basically the same type of web server, but instead it's installed on your own computer. This would not be available to the outside world, and fittingly, this server is referred to as localhost. Now, as I introduced earlier, in order to run Joomla, you not only need the Apache server, but a MySQL database server and PHP software. All three of these elements constitute the data layer here in this figure. Now, BitNami conveniently combines all these data layer technologies with the Joomla CMS and the Joomla installer software into a single executable installer file, making the entire process a lot faster and easier than it sounds here as I'm describing it. You would execute this file by double-clicking it. It then installs everything you need: Apache server, database server, PHP, and Joomla. The integrated stack is pre-configured to include everything Joomla needs, so you can be confident that Joomla will run without problems right on your own computer. The end result of this installation is referred to as a Joomla server stack. The stack is updated every time a new Joomla version is released, so you can be confident that you'll always be installing Joomla with the latest security and bug fixes. The stack is completely self-contained, as I mentioned earlier, so it will not interfere with other software on your system. And if it does stop working, simply delete it and reinstall the stack. BitNami has installers for creating stacks running many other applications, including WordPress or Drupal, and even installers for installing just the local server. This latter option gives you the ability to restore another Joomla website from a backup file to your local computer. Each stack is designed for a particular operating system, so if you have a Windows machine, you want to download and install the Windows Joomla server stack. Apple Macintosh users would download Mac stacks. The installation process involves these 4 steps. Download the software installer from BitNami, double-click the installer and follow its directions to install the server stack and Joomla. Write down the site URL, passwords, and username, and then use these login credentials to access both the front end and the back end to verify that everything was installed successfully. Let's move on now for a screen-by-screen demonstration through an actual installation.